Hi, my name is Alex Ascari, and today I'm going to talk about the 3 biggest hurdles that stop you from buying real estate. I remember I had a friend at 2018, and he always wanted to get into the commercial real estate. And he was telling me at that time, at 2018, that we are at the peak of the real estate cycle, and most probably the real estate is going to crash. We waited till 2020. 2020, when the pandemic hit, he waited still, and he was telling me that the market's going to crash soon because of the pandemic. And what happened is, at 2023, when I saw that guy again, he was telling me because of all the inflation and all the other stuff, the market's going to crash soon, and he still didn't buy any property yet. But at that time, like 2018, I had a friend that he bought a property, and it was probably 20, if I remember, it was 20 unit apartment, and in 3 years he made almost $1 million like by buying that property and renovate it and do some other stuff. So I'm like, from my experience, timing the market is the worst thing that you can do. I always say that time in the market always beats timing the market, because nobody knows that when is the best time to actually invest in real estate. And from my friend's experience and my experience, I always would say the good property is like, if you find a good property, it's the right time for you to actually buy that property. You shouldn't wait if it's a right property. And don't try to actually time in the market, because you can't do that. And if somebody asks me when is the best time to start real estate, I would say the best time was yesterday, and the second best time was today, if you want to be conservative. So this is the biggest hurdle that you have to overcome, timing the market, and you shouldn't do it. The second hurdle that people have are fears. Like, they might have a fears of losing money, they might have a fears of making a bad decision or failure, or they might have a fear of debt, or they might have a fear of recession, or they might have a fear of finding a tenant. These are all the fears that people might have when they want to actually invest in commercial or residential property. In order for you to overcome that, you have to do at least 7 or 8 things. First of all, you have to acknowledge that you have that fear. If you know that you have that fear, you can overcome that a lot easier. So make sure that if you have that fear, where does that come from and how you can overcome that, and you should acknowledge that you have that fear. The second thing is, you have to educate yourself to actually and become a student of that a specific field that you want to be successful, and try to study and try to get as much as information as you can in order for you to actually overcome that fear. And the other thing is, seek professional guidance. You have to be around successful people in that field in order for you to actually overcome that fear. And you might want to start small. You don't have to be you don't have to go big. If you want to start investing in commercial or residential property, you shouldn't actually start big. And you should, because you have a fear of investing, you should start small, and then eventually, when you're getting enough experience, you can go big. And the other thing is, the other thing that might help you to overcome the fear is building a step-by-step plan in order for you to actually getting more confident in terms of investing in real estate. I remember when I wanted to start investing in real estate almost 20 years ago, I had a plan which I got that from my one of my friend who actually did this for almost 10 years. And in that actual plan, I had a step-by-step plan that what I'm gonna buy, in 6 months, what I'm gonna buy in 1 year, and how much money I need, who should I talk with in order for me to be successful in that purchase. And you know, in that case, you would be more confident if you wanted to buy something. And the last thing that you have to remember is it takes time. It takes time. You shouldn't expect that you get you become rich very soon, or you make a lot of money one night. So you have to wait. It takes time, and that's a very important point that you have to be careful if when you want to buy real estate. The last hurdle that people have is money. Usually in real estate, people think that you need a lot of money in order for you to actually enter or buy properties, especially commercial property. But that's not true. I want to tell you that you need to have a knowledge instead of money to actually buy a property, especially commercial property. If you have a knowledge of creating financing, or if you have a knowledge of using OPM, other people's money, or if you have a knowledge of wholesaling, you don't need that much money to actually invest in real estate. So that's something that you have to know and have a knowledge about in order for you to be successful in real estate or purchasing real estate. And the second thing that you need to know is that the buying commercial property is a relationship-based business. So if you know a lot of people, if you actually go talk to the seller directly, if you actually be close to the seller or real estate agents who are actually doing commercial deals, you can close the deal. You can purchase a lot of property if you have a knowledge, and also if you have a relationship. I know a lot of friends who have tons of property that they didn't have enough money, and it was just based on relationship business and based on how they structured the deal, that somebody else has put the money and they actually manage the LLC or the company that they created. So in order for you to be successful, first you need to have a knowledge of how to use other people's money, and you have to know as much people as you can in order for you to actually find a deal. To give you an example, I had a friend, Jacob, which he purchased the property. I remember it was 26 years old, and he was calling us. He was doing the wholesaling in commercial property, and he called us. He was calling us every week and talk about the deal that he found, and he was trying to actually offer us that deal in order for us to actually close the deal or finding an investor for him. What happened is, one time when he called me and he said, I find the deal, the seller is very motivated, it's 56 units and it has a 6,000 a month positive. I tried this guy to, I helped this guy to actually close the deal himself by helping him to become one of the buyer. He's a third buyer. He brought the investor, and we structured the deal for this guy somehow that he used other people's money and he closed the deal. And this is one of the, and he didn't have that much money, and this is one of the examples that people can buy real estate, especially commercial property, with somebody else's money. And I remember I had another friend who did the same thing with 12-unit apartment, and he brought his friend as an investor. He structured the deal. His friend became the manager of LLC, and he structured the deal. He found the deal, and he put no money. All the money came from the investor, and he went 50-50 with that guy. And that's one of the other examples that I can tell you with investing in real estate with a little bit of money or no money, if you have a knowledge of that, and if you have a good relationship with the seller in order for you to find the property, to find the right property. So to summarize that, there are 3 hurdles that stop you from buying real estate. You need to overcome that. The first thing is try to timing the market. Don't try to time the market, because It's always good to invest in real estate if you find a good deal. The second thing is having a fear of investing in real estate. If you have that, we gave you a solution. We gave you 7 or 8 items in order for you to overcome that. And the last thing is don't think that buying a property needs a lot of money. If you have a knowledge and if you have a relationship, you can easily find a property, either commercial or residential, and you can buy that property if you know how to structure the deal and if you know how to use the knowledge of OPM, other people's money. Thank you very much for your time, and see you in the next episode.